I'm afraid of sort of fighting with the Shogun again. Oh, it's her. Who's that? Oh, it's Senora, yeah. It's Sarah. Sarah. Is she here? What the fuck?
The way people charge in here as they please. So uncivilized.
Shut the fuck
If
up,
I didn't
boys.
know this was Tenshukaku, I might have mistaken it for some kind of street market. Have you learned your lesson now?
Oh no! What has she done to Kujusara?
The right to punish Inazumans for their crimes is mine alone. Not yours, Signora.
Then I apologize, Almighty Shogun. I know, you can't get me out of your mind. But you really don't need to call my name all the time. Don't go thinking I'm surprised to see you here. I'm well aware that you hate me, with the way you follow me around like a dark shadow.
I don't know if they're trying to seize control of Inazuma. I don't know what they're doing.
Ah, so you came to expose my crimes in front of the Shogun?
Senora's getting a boob nerf as well.
I'm just a Snezhnayan diplomat. I'm afraid I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh my god. Shut up. I'm surprised she hasn't got a boob nerf already.
She doesn't take us seriously at all!
No.
Stop talking about people and things that I care nothing about. They were nobodies to begin with, and their names will be forgotten. But now, at least, they get to be building blocks in the grand revolution to realize eternity. Is that not the greatest honor they could hope for in their tiny little lives?
Depends on whether you see yourself that way too, in which case I guess I got nothing to criticize.
Almighty Shogun, do correct me if I'm wrong.
She didn't really imperil people in... This was more Zhongli's idea, it seems to me, so... Yeah.
That's ancient history. You certainly love to hold a grudge.
Bro, let's fight.
The
Fuck this.
Tsaritsa's dream is the noblest and purest thing in all the world.
She's such a dumbass. Why does she act like that?
These other mundane details you insist on mentioning, they're just necessary sacrifices. That's all. You stop me? For what it's worth, I've grown tired of seeing you around as well. But I didn't have you down as someone quite so foolhardy.
Don't know what that word means, let's fight.
Before you go saying something you can't take back, remember that you're Inazuma's most wanted criminal. I suggest you consider your circumstances very carefully. Charging into Tenshukaku uninvited and lecturing me in front of the Shogun wasn't the brightest move. Don't you think it's time you stopped digging?
In case you haven't noticed, she hasn't said anything, she's been listening.
I'm not sure you realize quite how much distance there is between us, both in status and in strength.
I challenge you
Oh,
to a duel before the throne.
that's it? Before the throne? I don't think that means anything. A line from the Traveler, too.
Proceed.
My, you're full of surprises today. So you've learned to make the law of the land work for you too.
Oh, I see. The Inazuman rules. I see, that's why she said it then.
I'll admit that I never expected to be in a situation where the two of us were on equal footing. You are aware that the loser must die. Are you sure this is what you want?
Traveler!
Then I will deign to share this last dance with you. Till death do us part!
Okay.
A lesson on Harbinger power and elegance? As you wish.
We're way behind
Just
schedule.
checking that those don't follow me around.
Detestable!
As a good knight should.
Oh, Senora. I am tanking you with just Noelle. How
Harbinger
pathetic.
power has become burdensome. I will manifest my destiny anew. Await my emergence and tremble, traveler. You have reason to be afraid.
Am I? Oh, what is this?
Steady as stone.
Is that what's making me cold? Oh, it is. That's it? You hid yourself. What a pathetic fight. You're so stupid.
I'll catch up.
How embarrassing. Hiding before Noelle. Oh my god. What is that? Crimson? Oh, is that what I should have been picking up?
I'll catch up.
I don't know if this is where it goes. Oh, I see. It must be over here.
The pale flame smolders.
You
The
think
Tsaritsa's benevolence has no
your
place for
cryo
transgressors.
hurts Noelle? It does, but... Oh no, I'm so scared of the second phase, as the first one was so hard. So scared.
Pale
Anyway.
flame, lay waste to frozen shell and witness my suffering. In fires of sin and retribution, your soul will be incinerated!
Time to go.
Ah! Ah! Immolation! A cherished agony. Do you feel it?
Am I too hot? What are these?
Access denied.
Maybe I should try to break
I
them.
must leave no stone unturned. Born of ice and frost. Animal test 6308. Enhanced
Who
animal model
dares?
75. And so
Call me
steady as
a
stone.
witch!
Go!
All must burn!
Access denied.
Is she gonna aim at me or what? I feel like this fight is half of me just hitting the corners of the room.
I must leave no stone unturned.
Ah. What's she doing? Will she aim at me at any point? Is this really what I had to look forward to? She really hyped herself up like she was gonna be super powerful, but she's just a bit of an idiot.
Not even ashes will remain.
Ow.
Stand clear. A minor error.
Come, put up a fight.
Leave it up to me.
You stop teleporting, you're such a baby.
Stand clear. Animal test 6308. Stand clear.
What is that? Ah,
Steady
that
as
looks
stone.
like it'll be
I'll catch
annoying.
up.
Not even ashes will remain.
Long overdue. Born of
Not
ice and
every
frost.
wound will
Animal
heal.
hypostasis.
How embarrassing. You're an embarrassment.
So strong, but how?
Because last time you had us, like, in the surprise attack. Hey, I want to kill her. It's not up to you to do it. I want to do it.
I am a Snezhnayan diplomat. You know what happens if you lay a finger on me. Swear, if you strike me, I will make sure. The Fatui will make sure that your precious Inazuma. Stop! I order you, and you,
Wait, no, I want Venti's Gnosis back.
filthy rats, all of you.
You are the enemy of eternity.
Let's explain real
But
quick.
as the victor, I acknowledge your honor. Therefore, I shall allow you to leave Tenshukaku alive.
That's just the front door then. Do I leave in this room? Do I just have to live in this room now? Oh, okay.
The Raiden Shogun isn't gonna let us off just like that, right?
Oh, what's going on?
Oh, the air feels suffocating. It
I'm not
must be
walking,
the
by the
Raiden
way.
Shogun's almightiness. One strike from the Shogun and now Senora is gone.
Seems like something's going
Got
on
what she
though.
deserved. But Paimon still can't help but feel upset. Why are they doing it? Why are the Harbingers collecting all the Gnosis? Huh? Traveler, you got a headache? Chin up. Let's get out of this place. Paimon feels unsettled. Also, when the Shogun executed Senora with the Muso no Hitotachi, it was unbelievably powerful. It seems impossible to defend against. And if so, we've got no hope whatsoever of defeating her in combat. So, to recap, Yamiko wants us to go back inside the plane of Euthymia by the statue of the omnipresent god. Oh, but we'll be like lambs to the slaughter, won't we? Oh, maybe we could put this plan on hold for a while?
We just want to talk to the Shogun though.
There's the sound of electro zapping in the air. Paimon can barely breathe. Traveler, are you okay? You're so silent.
Has Senora made her way into our minds or something?
Sounds like there's a lot of noise coming from outside Tenshikaku. Has a fight broken out or something? Oh, the guards seem really nervous. Let's go see what the situation is, shall we?
The guards seem completely ruined. What?
There will always be those who dare to brave the lightning's glow.
So Kazuha gains 2 visions? Oh, he revived it for just a moment.
So we meet again.
We're gonna have a chat this time? No fight, just chat.
Indulge my curiosity.
Yes.
What is the reason that I find you standing here before me once again?
Didn't she let me in?
Do you hope your foolhardiness will shelter those people? Or was it simply a means of seeking an audience with me?
Both.
Oh? Surely you didn't rouse me from my state of eternal meditation only to tell me this. If so, then you underestimate me. I am quite well informed about the Vision Hunt decree. Not so. Only everything that pertains to eternity. The Vision Hunt decree has my tacit approval. The Fatui's actions thus far do not constitute a threat to eternity. Otherwise, they would have been purged long ago. Individual ambition is inherently incompatible with eternity. What you might not realize is that all too often, people have far more to lose by chasing their dreams. Consider this. No one will lose their life on account of having their vision taken away. Rather, those who have lost their lives are the ones who insisted on pursuing their own aspirations, are they not?
But only in terms of, in this case, in terms of a civil war. Like, visions otherwise are just gifts. They weren't meant to be, and they're not helpful. They're acknowledgement. Like, they weren't meant to be used to further some hardship they were after. In this case, people are dying with visions because those are the only ones able to help the most. But no one would need to help the most if there wasn't a civil war caused by this, like, sudden attack on vision bearers. And allowing the Fatui in. I don't think this is the point, though.
Traveler, your existence is unique in my eyes. There seems to be limitless uncertainty in you. To put it another way, you are the furthest thing from eternity. So, I won't insist that you comprehend the meaning of my actions. What matters is that I tread the path of eternity on my people's behalf. That's right. Huh. I'm surprised you understand it so well. Anyway, you're looking for a chance to shake my will, aren't you?
I am here to debate her ideas. Ah. Yes, that is more accurate.
So be it. Well then, you who would defy eternity, time for you to enlighten me.
Huh? Wait, what? We're
Excessive
fighting?
yearning leads to inevitable destruction.
For Rex Lapis!
Inferior.
Can you hold still?
Enhanced animal module 75.
Evasion is futile.
Leave it all to me. Time to clean up.
I changed my Noel's build so it's a little less useful. Can you
Lightning
not?
falls on the land
Oh,
of
it's one of
eternity.
those.
I must leave no.
Damn it, it's not gonna be enough time. Ah, well.
We're waiting.
Yeah, Mika's training sucks anyway.
Inferior.
Whoa, what range?
Instabilities will be removed.
Mine do it. Doesn't matter. You get to keep them though, it's not fair.
Inferior.
Next on the agenda. I can fix this.
Is that one of those child eyes? Man, we need to have our main character awakening at some point.
Dear me, aren't you cutting it rather close?
Miko, this was your doing?
Now. Don't forget who taught you how to place your consciousness in objects. Surely you don't think your ambition alone is enough to shake A's will, do you? Though you alone are here, they too have ambitions, which they long since entrusted to you. Now then, close your eyes.
We can abolish the Vision Hunt Decree.
What's going on?
This is long overdue. Next on the agenda, access denied.
This world, a fleeting
Mark
shadow.
2, stand clear. Run over.
Your verdict is decided.
Steady as stone. As a good knight should.
Don't really know in what way I'm powered up, but
Without yearning,
I assume I am.
all returns to
in some way.
silence.
I can still reach. Can you stop Noel, bro? You can't stop Noel. Oh. Ooh.
I must leave no stone unturned.
Your verdict is decided.
Higher, higher, here's that fire! Phew! Animal test 6308. Enhanced animal module 75. Time to clean up.
Bro, do you think you can stop in the well?
You've lost, eh?
Yes, I have.
And yeah, that means basically nothing. Because why would she change her mind?
Why can you not trust your people, and in the power of their ambitions? These ambitions have transcended space and time. They are something that no one can snuff out. Is this the lesson you learned from your journey in Liyue? There are nations where humans cast their god aside and stride
They
forward.
didn't cast him aside. He trusted them to produce a better future for themselves. Because they aren't so weak. And because he felt unneeded as well, because they were so capable. They didn't cast him aside, they still revered him and respect him.
So are we to just abandon the notion of progress for the sake of wishful thinking?
You and I have both witnessed the great loss that progress can bring. Eternity. Eternity is the only way.
Yeah, just for yourself, though. Just to live peacefully. Lives in the most selfish way possible.
When lightning flashes, it casts a shadow. My name means shadow. With my blade, I purged all obstacles to progress. And yet, something was lost with each step forward. In the end, I even lost her. The tales are still retold in the shade of every Thunder Sakura. But the wounds left on our nation by that terrible loss still ache. Never stop searching, even if only for a brief flash of light. If nothing else, we have the present moment. She said that once. But I've seen a nation stride forward and lose everything to the heavenly principles. Perhaps only if time stands still will the lightning's glow never fade. The present moment is a fragile illusion. Only eternity can bring us closer to the heavenly principles. I am no longer the shadow. Mine is the most supreme and noble form. Let power over the realm be vested within me. In this form shall I honor my subjects' dream, for a land of eternity, unchanging forevermore.
The heavenly principles. Irrelevant nonsense as far as I'm concerned.
Been a while since we heard the phrase the heavenly principles. Since the unknown god, I think. So, Khaenri'ah, I assume, was the example there, but I'll continue to leave it vague. So, this nation that progressed to a point where heavenly principles happened to them, and so everything was destroyed. Because of how much they progressed. And so she's trying to produce... So now the Shogun's trying to produce a state of eternal stagnation in order to keep things from being destroyed, I guess. So no one else has to be lost like the entirety of a nation. So she thinks she's its guardian. She didn't listen to her friend's words very well. She said, even if only for a moment.
When all's said and done, all you really want is to protect your beloved Inazuma forever and ever. Isn't that right?
Mm.
That would be something of an oversimplification.
But is this nation worth existing for eternity?
No, then, as it is.
Stripped of ambitions, stripped of the potential for change, it does nothing more than simply exist. It is a hollow shell of a nation. I wonder what loss would it really be to anyone if such a nation were destroyed?
Hmm.
Miko, retract your words. Never changing eternity is the promise I made to my people.
But it is changing.
But what your people need from you is not your promises. They want your attention, your divine gaze.
You mean visions?
Additionally, I don't think... Is that what she was saying? I don't think she was referring only to visions.
Humans have a lifespan of barely 100 years. They cannot afford to bear any extra losses. But I have experienced it all. That is why I have chosen to guide them along the correct path toward eternity.
But eternity is far too cruel a fate for you, eh?
For me,
Not only have you stopped paying attention to the world, but you have stopped paying attention to yourself. It must have been terribly lonely here, all alone, for centuries on end.
but it is necessary.
You will miss much by refusing progress. You seek to prevent loss, but have you considered all you are losing by remaining here in stasis for all eternity? You are obviously lonely, and yet, for the sake of eternity, you choose to stretch your loneliness out to infinity. Tell me this. Why is the sky here that was once so dark glowing again? Why now? This is your plane of euthymia. It's your inner world. So it can only mean that you are happy to see me again. You have found the loneliness here unbearable for a long time now, haven't you?
I have nothing to say to that.
But I have so much to say to you. Let me tell you all that has happened over the last few centuries.
How long will that take?
As a Fox envoy, I have an excellent memory. I recall every detail of the last few centuries with perfect clarity. So it will probably take me another few centuries to relay it to you.
Miko, I never thought I would have the chance to meet with you like this again. Seeing you again is a change to eternity. And a very nice surprise.
Since you are willing to admit that, I suppose that means we can still be friends?
If she changes her mind, that is. I feel like it's you who should give the who should give permission for her to be friends with you again, though. And she needs to apologize to everyone.
What a childish conversation this is. Anyway, now that I have been defeated by you and your plan, I will honor your wish to abolish the Vision Hunt Decree.
Eh? But even still. Fine, whatever, that's what we
But-
wanted.
With regards to eternity, and the question of whether this nation should move forward, I need time to give it some thought.
I wonder in what way... what kind of progress isn't allowed, in her opinion.
You are the one who's been acting like a child from the very beginning. As promised, the Raiden Shogun abolished the Vision Hunt Decree. Finally, her people's wishes penetrated her locked heart.
Debatable.
Beyond the plane of euthymia, she saw what eternity means in the eyes of the world. When one's fervent ambition burns brightly, the gods will cast their gaze upon you.
Was that what she meant by
Some
divine
ambitions have the power to heal wounds, to bring victory, to inspire hope. But some ambitions outlive their masters long after the soul ascends. They remain as they were in the beginning. Burning bright and true for all eternity.
So what did you guys do in the Raiden Shogun's plane of euthymia anyway? Is the Vision Hunt Decree abolished?
Yeah, it was all thanks to Yae Miko. Also, we apparently can tap into everyone's ambitions and become, what, infinitely powerful? I wasn't sure quite in what way we gained a buff.
Oh, gotcha. Paimon was super worried, you know. So, maybe the reason Yaimiko is looking for us now is because she wants to thank us. Let's go find her.
Yeah, I kind of want to ask her how she knew for us to close our eyes and concentrate on people who had pinned their hopes on just the Traveler.
I'll catch up.
How much does Yaimiko actually know about what we're capable of? And we should probably learn about ourselves by just asking the Shogun, since we seem to be on friendly terms. Because for her to just know that we have limitless potential like that, why are you standing so close to the tree? I'll just stand back here.
Why, hello, if it isn't the triumphant traveler. And why might you be visiting the shrine? A sign of piety, perhaps?
Don't know what that word means.
You literally told us to come meet you here.
I was just joking. I've been waiting for you.
Seems like someone's in a pretty good mood.
Mm-hmm. Catching up with an old friend I hadn't seen in years was truly delightful. By the way, I heard that you had a duel before the throne, with a Fatui Harbinger no less. Courageous and astute. I must say, I am most impressed.
It's not really courageousness. It's more that we do so much damage.
Defeating Signora head-on in a duel means that your strength exceeds my expectations. Still, you did end up victorious. I gather congratulations are in order.
Yeah, congratulations to Garni for being broken.
Sure feels good to finally thwart the Fatui plan for once. They caused plenty of trouble along the way, but at the very least, they didn't get their hands on another Gnosis.
Yeah.
Wait a second. Did you say Gnosis?
Yes, sis.
As in, the little thing that looks something like a chess piece.
Yep, that's the one. You've seen one too? Gnosis belong to the Seven. They're what keep them connected to Celestia.
Is it? I've always wondered what their purpose was, but I didn't know that's what its definition, like its properties were. Keep them connected to Celestia. In what way? What kind of connection?
Oh,
What's wrong?
I handed that over.
You fucking dumbass. Why? Then you... Why?
You did what now?
Well, how else was I supposed to save your skin from the balladeer exactly?
You're joking. That was your what if I told you? Why'd you hand it over? You said you made him get on his knees and beg. Yeah, beg for the Gnosis? You're kidding me.
The balladeer is number 6 of the Fatui Harbingers. In terms of strength, he is superior to Signora.
Who cares how strong they are? Just lose the fight. Why did you have that anyway? Was it your one?
I'm not the kind of person who risks life and limb for any old reason.
You did. For once, Paimon just does not know what to say.
Yeah, why did she have it and why did she not use it to win?
After A created her puppet vessel, she no longer had anywhere to put it.
Oh. Okay.
As her erstwhile closest friend, A handed it over to me, and I've kept it in the Grand Narukami Shrine ever since. She no longer needs the power of the Gnosis, and in any case, she tells me she has severed ties with Celestia.
Ah.
Thus, the Gnosis became not only useless, but also a potential source of conflict. Is that not a good bargain, exchanging it for the one at the core of the plan?
Does she not understand its use? And how that could come back to not just Inazuma, but everyone?
Judging by the results, at least, I dare say I struck a good deal.
God.
When you put it like that, Paimon has to agree. The Traveler is worth more than a Gnosis. Well, what's done is done. And I hardly think we'll be getting it back now.
Yeah.
Let's leave the past in the past.
Man, we're gonna need to try super hard to live up to people's expectations now if they're giving up Gnosis. Gnosi, whatever you'd call multiple.
So anyway, you still haven't told us why you called us here today.
It's to thank you.
Really?
You intend to travel all over Tevat, and the time has come for the Inazuma leg of your trip to come to an end, has it not?
I guess... I feel like our trip was done the moment we resonated with the statue. I thought all we wanted was to gain more power.
As a mark of my gratitude, I will answer any questions you may have about the road ahead or the events of the past. What would you like to know about?
Rather, obviously.
Sorry, I haven't a clue. I'm also unfamiliar with the god you describe.
You're joking. You just told me to answer my questions. I was expecting her to be able to tell the future or something.
But if you still have doubts about A, I would say they are misplaced. Not only does she not fit your description, but she voluntarily gave up her gnosis long ago, severing her ties with Celestia in the process. That's good to hear. Otherwise, given that I'm her familiar, it could have made our relationship rather awkward, don't you think?
Familiar. It's quite a vague word. What are they to each other?
Don't worry. We
Friends,
aren't
she
looking to
said.
pick a fight with you.
I wish you the best of luck. May you soon discover the truth behind it all. As for your brother's whereabouts, I will use all the resources at my disposal to investigate it, and I will also borrow some of Ayato's people from the Shiumatsuban.
Oh, thanks. That's nice.
I'll let you know if I find out anything. Consider it part of my means of thanking you.
Yeah. That's a good thanks. Very useful. About the next stop on my journey, I have no more questions. About the former Raiden Shogun. About the Shogun puppet.
I'm surprised an outlander like you is aware that there was once a change of Electro Archon. Few citizens of Inazuma are aware of this.
Morat's told us. Electro Archon Ball has passed.
I see. So Baal was the previous one. The deceased Archon. And A is actually who everyone's been referring to Baal in the leaks and whenever they give information. So A is her name.
Yes. The truth of the matter is that there were two twin gods, Baal and Beelzebul.
Ah. Beelzebul. There was more than one. Okay. I guess that's why the statue of the omnipresent god perhaps looks different. But there isn't a joint twin god statue, though.
Twin gods?
They won the Archon War together, and when Baal established the shogunate, Beelzebul became her Kagemusha, or shadow warrior. In other words, she acted as Baal's body double.
Okay.
Beelzebul is A, with whom we are now both acquainted. Baal's name was Makoto.
What? How many? Wait, now I'm confused about. So Beelzebul, both acquainted. She makes it. Is she a familiar, a friend, or are you an acquaintance of her? How many definitions are you gonna give her? I feel like she's doing that on purpose. Beelzebul is A, and she had a twin sibling. Baal's name was Makoto. Is this the same thing like, it's their human, given it's their names in the human area? Or it's like their alias for being with people? Or something? So, is A's real name Beelzebul? And the previous Archon alongside Beelzebul was Makoto. And they're both Jesus Christ. I don't get it. I don't know how to understand the name changes, for what purpose they served.
As far as the world was aware, there were not two, but one. They complemented each other, and they ruled Inazuma jointly. So there was no need for the public to know the truth.
Why not? Just let them know there's two Archons. Another decision I can't understand.
In fact, the name Baal and the title of Raiden Shogun was understood to refer to both of them. Right up until...
Until what?
See, is that who died?
Makoto died several hundred years ago in a war that I was not personally involved in. Since then, A has assumed the shogunate.
See. So, the trailers, when Baal is when I thought it was really weird for Baal to go chasing after herself. So it wasn't herself, it was a twin sister, sibling of some sort, if that's how you refer to gods as siblings. Twin. It wasn't herself. Just a twin.
Losing her sister must have been super hard on A.
Losing a sister must have been super hard on me. Was it in Conria? Yeah, I kind of want to ask Conria as a question several hundred years ago.
That was when A began to change. Makoto was her greatest loss.
I see, so which order did this happen in? Makoto died and then another nation fell? Or Makoto died during the loss of that nation?
Paimon feels like she understands A a lot better now after finding that out. So what kind of god was Makoto?
I didn't spend a great deal of time with her, but my impression was
None at all.
she
What
was
do
a
you mean?
gentle god, who in each moment cherished the beauty of what was before her.
Sounds nice. I made that sound dismissive. It does sound nice. But what did she mean? My impression was... I didn't spend... No, actually, what did she mean by... I didn't spend a great deal of time with her. Can she spend any amount of time with her? If she died much before she was even part of a war she even knew about? Maybe they met, just didn't fight in the same war? She was like off doing something else?
Wow.
About the puppet.
That puppet was built with technology that has been lost to time. Perhaps she, as a god, is the only one privy to the knowledge of its origins.
Wow. I didn't quite understand how advanced Kynrians were to the point where they can do things like that.
Still, there's one other thing on this topic that I suspect you may be curious to know. Before A began modifying her own godly form, she took it upon herself to create a prototype puppet.
He made a puppet prototype. So there is another prototype. So there is this puppet and one before that one as a test. So there's another one running around somewhere?
So, you mean there are 3 Raiden Shoguns?
No, the prototype was merely a proof of concept. Its appearance and intellect were not based on A. It was a test. The original plan was for A to simply discard it. But perhaps A thought this to be too cruel, because in the end she chose only to seal the power within it.
See, so it was a powerful replica, but its power was sealed away inside of it. Well, that doesn't mean it can't bring itself back out, possibly. Interesting. So it doesn't even look like her.
Later, this puppet wandered Inazuma as an ordinary human male with his own consciousness, until the Fatui took an interest in him.
You guys are really screwing around a bit too much. He needs to take an interest in as well now and get them back.
Ugh, not the Fatui.
Fatui.
Some eccentric geniuses in the ranks of the Fatui made adjustments to the prototype, not only unsealing his power, but very likely rendering him even more formidable than his original specifications.
Right, so there's something about as strong as the Shogun puppet we just fought. Equally as powerful, but just a little bit more powerful. Sure.
The object of divine creation is now the one who has taken possession of the Gnosis. And the prototype puppet is now known as the Balladeer.
Okay. We should get him back, right? Destroy him, because he's just being really mean. Or have a little chat with him, see if he'll change sides so he stops being mean. Okay. So, Scaramouche is a failed prototype of the finalized puppet. Okay?
What the?
Shouldn't you...
What a crazy story!
Also, you gave a gnosis to the person of almost on sort of some variation of equal footing to, This sounds like a real problem. You gave a gnosis to him. I wonder if he could get some sort of connection to Celestia now, or use it in some way. Well, for two we have it now. Great, Miko.
It is, isn't it?
It was
Who can
not.
say whether it's coincidence or destiny?
Okay.
After leaving Inazuma, I think it would be easiest for you to go to Sumeru.
Really? Still no Dendro area.
Ooh, Sumeru! We've run into loads of scholars from there on our journey so far.
Yes, well, Sumeru is the land of the god of wisdom, where the quest for wisdom and knowledge is never-ending. But their obsession gives rise to some truly inexplicable things. For example...
Clay's mum. I mean, I'm only making that up, but Clay's mum's pretty ridiculous in trying to figure out all that's possible. It gets gruesome.
In Sumeru, knowledge is holistically managed as a resource.
Knowledge is a resource?
Yes. I don't know whether it was the sages or Lesser Lord Kusanali who came up with the idea.
Lesser Lord Kusanali? That's a cute name.
Oh, you haven't heard. Lesser Lord Kusanali is the deity in whom the people of Sumeru place their faith. It's their chosen term of endearment for her.
Okay. No Archon then? Just Lesser Lord.
I'm sure you must have some things to discuss with her too. I wish you all the best.
Okay.
Are you sure? Okay then. Oh, Traveler. Do you still have the Omamori I gave you?
Yeah, of course, I'll keep it in a safe place. Maybe she wants us to give it back.
Keep it safe. Is that all you intend to do with it?
Oh.
There was me thinking that you might hang it around your neck to show off to the world, telling everyone who inquired that it was given to you by none other than Yae Miko, the wise and beautiful.
Who in their right mind would do that?
Okay, I'll stop. Now, a question for you. Traveler, what is your ambition?
Why is that a question? That is what it is. And possibly save Tevet from what happened to Khaenri'ah, to be honest. I like Tevet. I hope the Traveler feels a connection to it.
I see. But that is merely a small goal, based on what preoccupies you here and now. Your ambition should be something that transcends the world below and the starry sky above. Something that shines in unison with fate itself.
I'm not sure that I understand. I mean, apparently we were... it kind of seemed like we were traveling with our brother until finally it was time to go, and we weren't allowed. An ambition that transcends the world below and the starry sky above. Shines in unison with fate itself. In unison with fate. She wants our ambition to eventually align itself with fate. Some goal above this, like, normal plane, but something above the stars? Which I assume implies something above divinity. What does she mean by that? She constantly has some vague things to say that implies something much larger, or something that hasn't yet happened.
Perhaps the reason you do not possess a vision is that such an ambition has yet to be engendered within you. It's a possibility.
So she thinks we'll get a vision. So she expects us to receive a vision eventually. But at the moment, what we have is unrelated.
Continue on your journey, and maybe that moment will come to pass.
Hmm.
Oh, did that all get a little heavy for you? I think you prefer me when I'm just teasing you, don't you?
No, I actually don't prefer that.
Are you sure? Okay, then keep it safe. There was me.
Yeah,
In there, right?
okay. That was, interesting? Seems like a lot of soft magic was involved,
See that he stays safe.
which was a bit strange to me. A whole ton of it. But at least it has implications for a coming story that you can attempt to speculate on. Like the Balladeer being reimagined as a new Archon through the use of the Gnosis that Yemiko believed was the right thing to throw away so that we would be the one to survive. Those boss fights were really... Signora's boss fight was really boring. That was really, really, really boring. She spent her time... I spent half my time attacking corners... Like, half my time I spent attacking the corners of the room, just looking at a corner, swinging... I don't know. That was weird. Like, when I was fighting her, it was fine. But when I was attacking random corners of the room, like and with the Raiden Shogun as well, there's something really weird about that. I assume that was the entirety of 2.0. I mean 2.1. Alright, seems like it was. Guess we'll have to wait for the next update to... I think the next update, unless that was the entirety of the 2.1 story. I liked it. I really hope the soft magic isn't thrown around too much, because like I'm happy to listen to random stuff that makes zero sense, but actually they're laying the groundwork to have a world that is grounded in like numerous rules. But we'll see. I'd heard rumors that Scaramouche was perhaps a failed vessel of the Shogun, and I don't know why people said that. And I wonder where now they got their information from. Because it's so interesting to have speculated and actually it was correct. I guess we'll see. But yeah, for now, I hope you guys enjoyed. I guess I'll see you next time when there's more story. Or cool hangouts, maybe. I think there is actually an unlock for the... Yeah, I guess eventually I'll do this. And hopefully you guys, this will be good. But yeah, for now, hope you enjoyed. I think it was saved at the end, more or less. Nothing that's saving the first half of 2.1, but yeah, it was enjoyable. Can't give many compliments, but I thought it was good at the end, and I'm a bit confused, to be honest, though, at our purpose. I thought our purpose was to gain power to eventually have enough to get our brother back, and to fight the unknown god, but that's not what's going on at the moment. I'm not sure what our motive is. It's to find the brother, gain power, but why are we meeting the Archons at this point? All we need to do is touch the statue, right? Anyway, I guess I'll only know as the development of the game goes on. Anyway, hope everyone enjoyed. and I will see you guys next time. Angry Noel. Laters. Hey, welcome back. Seems like saying laters is was a bit early. Because I've just gone over my footage, and it felt like I left a few things. I felt like I left some things still to be said. So I kind of want to go over that now. Just be sure I've really completed all my thoughts. Unfortunately, the majority of them, I'm pretty sure all of them actually, are pretty much just complaining about how 2.1 ended at, amongst other things. But yeah, I felt like just wanted to discuss a few things. Firstly, the thing that stood out to me the most is that I was assuming the story had ended at 2.1. I don't know why I assumed the Inazuman story ended at 2.1. Like, it really did feel like it ended, in my opinion, because I think even Yaimiko began to give us tips on where we should go next, and was just setting us on our way to Sumeru. And I guess that was the conclusion also given, like, through that cutscene at the end. I think Kazuha was saying... I think it was Kazuha monologuing, saying what happened to everyone. But actually, I feel like we're not quite done in Inazuma. Maybe I'm assuming, maybe I misunderstood, that the game seemed to be implying we would be finishing up to go to Sumeru now, since we were done here. But actually, looking back on the story, and having spoken to some people I speak to, I'll just get into it. I'm not quite sure how to introduce my thoughts, just because they seem to be from many different sections of the story. I guess I'll start with some interesting things that stood out to me, that had me excited in the story, even though I said this was all gonna be bad. I guess this isn't bad, it's just me having an interest that's obviously not gonna get answered, so I guess it's not really a critique. It's more, I hope this isn't an abandoned storyline or abandoned idea, the way that MiHoYo's been constantly abandoning their storylines, especially in Mondstadt. But anyway, I'm not gonna say what they did wrong in Mondstadt. But anyway, so watching over my footage, I had assumed that Kazuha had revived the vision that he was using. His friend's vision. I forgot his name, but the vision he was carrying around, I, for some reason, just assumed he had revived it in some way, and I assumed this because of the Beidou competition in 2.0, where Kazuha was trying to give it away as a prize to someone who was potentially able to revive it. Well, if they won the competition as well. But yeah, anyway, I assumed he revived it momentarily, because then they went back off. But actually, at the end, when Kazuha was, right, at the end of the trailer, when he laid the friend's vision at the grave, it went on again, even though Kazuha had walked away. And so I guess it wasn't Kazuha that had revived it. It was the friend who, in some way, his ambition continued to live, even though he didn't even though his friend didn't in his entirety anymore. And I was thinking, maybe the reason the vision came on was because it came on as I saw A attack. Because that was what he wanted, right? He wanted to fight Kazuha's friend wanted to fight with the Shogun, and so it would make sense for it to turn on in that moment, because his ambition was that battle. Well, specifically surviving the Musono Hitotachi. But then I'm unsure why then it also came on when it was laid down at the gravesite. Maybe it was to go alongside of the dialogue that had something relating to, I think it was something like some ambitions outlive their masters or something like that, even after the soul is left behind. Some variation of that. Their vision can outlive its bearer. Yeah, I was just speculating basically. Because it came on at the end either as as like a sort of symbolism for the fact that to go alongside that line, or maybe people are kept alive unwillingly from visions, because once you've died, you're not a vision. So I wonder if in some partial way people are forced to remain alive through their vision for whatever reason. Because it kind of looked that way to me. It might be as... Like, that to me seems a bit dark, that people aren't allowed to die anymore. And it's not up to them what they can do. They just live in some capacity inside their visions forevermore, I guess. I was also a bit confused by how much Miko seemed to be aware of visions, because people get rewarded visions, people know about that much. So what made her so sure? Like, how does she know that visions outlive their masters? Like, how can you possibly know that? Because once someone has died, the vision goes off. And yet she's able to tell us, well, actually, what can go on here as well is that some vision bearers, even after being deceased, they will continue to live through their vision. I wonder how she knows things like that. Is it because she's able to put her consciousness inside objects? That she knows there is a sort of consciousness inside visions? That would make kind of sense. It's not that it was explicitly spoken of. But it would be nice to not have these questions that are constantly being brought up and then suddenly we're moving on again to now Sumeru, I think it was. Yeah, anyway. Another question that I thought was, the Traveler was able to tap into other people's visions, I guess. But it wasn't only the Traveler who could do that. We saw Kazuha being capable of doing it as well. So obviously the Traveler isn't the only one capable of that. I feel like the question is now, it's not is the Traveler and Kazuha able to do anything. I think it's, has everyone always been capable of connecting their visions? Can everyone tap into each other if they know how? How does that work? How did Miko know that by giving us instructions that even we don't know about ourselves, we would end up capable of taking on everyone's ambitions into ourselves, and that would, I don't know, do what it did? Like, why would Miko possibly know that we could do that? Unless it's not just that we can do it. Can everyone? I also found it quite interesting, the wording, when Miko was talking to Ai and was saying how visions can transcend time and space. I thought that was quite interesting, because, or another question I'd like to get answered was at the end when Miko, the quote was something like, she no longer needs the power of the Gnosis, and in any case, she tells me she has severed ties with Celestia. I thought it was interesting the wording for "and in any case," as if it wasn't that she had broken ties with Celestia because she lost her Gnosis, or because she discarded her Gnosis. It was that, and in any case, she has severed her ties with Celestia. It's as if it wasn't the Gnosis that did it. She had already done it whilst with the Gnosis. It seems like both happened. She both gave away the Gnosis and had severed ties with Celestia. So I wonder, in what way has I broken, if that's a way to understand the sentence. In what way did she sever ties with Celestia before even the Gnosis came to be the thing that really would sever her tie with Celestia? I hope these questions get answered, because they're exciting, they're interesting, and I hope that they don't keep discarding all their interesting lore that they keep bringing up and creating only to throw it away or forget about it and then move us on to another area. She also mentioned, Yai also mentioned that she quoted, like, perhaps the reason you do not possess a vision is that such an ambition has yet to be engendered in you. And I thought, well, that doesn't make sense, because you get given a vision for having ambition. How can you have the power...
Sure, I'll play you another tune.
How can you have the power to use what vision bearers have, and yet not have a vision? But then she also mentioned earlier to I, back in the plane of euthymia? Can't remember the word, don't know what the word means. Back in I's mind, she said to her that visions can transcend space and time, and I wonder if it's not that the traveler...
Let's go. The world is full.
It's not that the traveler doesn't have a vision, it's that the traveler has already had a vision that they can't remember, because they say visions can transcend space and time. Some of them. I don't know if it's all of them, but I think it's implied that some of them can do that. To be honest, they actually go back and forth, saying whether they do or don't. But they do, at least, for sure. Just, I don't know how many of them do that. But if they can transcend space and time, that might mean that at some point in the future, we're going to get one. But it might be that we've already got one in a previous... before we traveled in time. And I know it sounds ridiculous, but after traveling in time, we traveled far enough back that the traveler lost their vision because they hadn't yet earned it. They didn't yet have the ambition to have it, which might explain why they can just forcefully
Right now, I wish I was sitting at the top of a tree.
might be able to forcefully resonate with other elements, right? I say right, as if I don't mean to make it a leading question, but maybe that's why, because they're a person who is meant to hold possession of a vision, but because they don't, I guess the vision knows that they should own it, because it's transcending time. I'm assuming it's not transcending space, but I have no idea. But I have no idea what it's transcending. But at least time in this example. It might just be that any vision is trying to desperately restore what should already be owned, which is just a simple vision. Don't know about simple vision, but it sounds like a vision might be trying to connect with us, and it cannot, so it'll get confused, I guess, and reach backwards in time from the future to make sure you have a way of being granted the blessing from the gods.
Sitting at the top of a tree, looking out over a meadow,
I don't know. I mean, I felt like it was a plausible thing. From the way Miko said it, it sounds like I mean, time doesn't mean time travel. I mean, transcending space and time, but it can suggest it if you see it that way. Anyway, hope we find out later. Maybe that's what when it finally finds its way back to us. I wonder if we'll lose all of our like resonances with all the statues. On the more complaining side of things, what the hell happened to Tepe? And how does Kakomi feel about the fact that we did what's it called when you leave the army but you didn't get given permission? We abandoned our post, and I don't think that's something you can do in the army. Now this is some sort of official army,
Right now, I wish I was
but
sitting at the.
we deserted our post, our position of Swordfish 2, without telling Kakomi, and sending no message or even bothering to think about what situation we may have left her in, or what situation they were in as we left. I thought that was really strange to just suddenly decide to move the story forwards in the most forceful, abrasive way possible. We just forgot about it. We didn't care about that anymore, so we left it be. And there's a few times where that happens, like for example, Tepe. Tepe
Come on, traveler.
was Tepe was dying. He was dying of old age, from using the delusion, and we left. We told him we would get dressed in our uniforms together. Are we gonna do that? Is he okay? Is he gonna live? Scaramouche said that he was basically a lost cause, that it was too late. He implied that, I mean. Is Tepe dead? Do we care to check? We acted like we really cared, and yet that's not who we went to check on. We didn't go to check on anything. But we did have some sort of sentiment towards Tepe as the traveler in the story, I mean. Not that I cared about Tepe, but the traveler did. And it was strange to not see that sentiment followed through on. Tepe was just forgotten about. Is he gonna die? Is there a way to undo the delusion? Is his life taken forever? And he's only got a few remaining, however long he's got left to live, if it can't be reversed. And then we did the same thing we did to Tepe to Sarah. We're finally on pretty much neutral terms with her, and suddenly we see her laying down on the ground, and we didn't seem to care. We fought Signora, we fought then the Shogun, we fought Ai, and after we were done, we didn't care about Sarah either. We just didn't care. She was laying down in Tenshikaku, hurt. How hurt was she? Did we not care? We didn't check on her. I'm not even sure the story concluded with her at least showing us if she was okay or not. If it did, I can't remember, but I think we should have gone to check. I feel like we have some sort of responsibility, right? We care. That's responsibility enough. Or at least I cared, or I felt like we should have cared. At least for the sake of the story, to tie up more loose ends, we just left them there. Tepe and Sarah. Also, Wetatsumi Island is so barren. There are no houses. Where do people sleep? Why are there not NPCs? No one lives there. Honestly, they have their own, the person that was she called? Komi was whatever. She was the leader of Watatsumi Island. I assume that doesn't mean leader of an army. I assume that means leader of, I don't know, the island. Which I assume means she's got people, right? She's got people to take care of. But the island must have, no one there. No one lives there. Not even NPCs. There's no sense of a culture or a life. It's just a barren place held for plot device Kokomi and plot device Goro and plot device Tepe. All of them made no difference to the outcome of the story.
Sure, I'll play you
Remove
another
the
tune, but
entirety
it'll
of
cost you an
Watatsumi
apple.
Island. What few inhabitants there are. Kokomi, Goro, Tepe, and we've not lost a relationship at all to any of these people. We've not made any sort of memories meaningful with any of them. They don't impact the story, they don't impact the traveler, in my opinion, obviously. That's debatable because the story was forced to make Tepe interact with the traveler for prolonged periods of time. I don't know, and we still never got to meet Kokomi and Goro. They could have at least been I guess, our idea of our reason to return to Watatsumi Island, or to have a sense of care for Watatsumi Island, because it's where Goro and where Kokomi are. But actually, they were used to faff around with an army that made zero noticeable impact. We don't know who Goro is, and we don't know who Kokomi is. We don't know their personalities.
Come on, traveler.
And
Let's go.
and even their personalities, or even their description of who they're meant to be for the story they were written for. I don't think Kokomi was a genius. She seemed to just react when there was something to react to. She wasn't like Commander Irwin or something, where she was actually incredibly smart and had plans and all these things. She was literally just a girl leading an army with the only ways she could, and that's all she was. It's not really a character. She was more an NPC than Tepe was. Tepe got more characterization than Goro and Kokomi combined.
Top of a tree.
Like, we spent so much time getting to know Tepe, and I didn't care. I didn't care about him. I didn't care about his feelings, his story. It was dull. And just no attention was given to the characters who actually matter. All that time was lost because the writers, I guess, decided to get Tepe to speak to us instead of Kokomi and Goro. They just had nothing to say. They had nothing about themselves. I don't think they could say anything if they wanted to. It felt like their characterization wasn't even there. I mean, I won't go into the pacing. The pacing was obviously awful. Like, I don't even... Just thinking about the amount of problems in the story, it makes me so tired and demotivated. Also, we've learned a long time ago now, back in, I think it was 2.6? I can't remember. We spoke to Dainsleif, and we learned that hilly churls, they're not just hill dwellers, they're people. They were the people of Khaenri'ah that got turned into what they are.
Sure, I'll play
And
you another tune.
And MiHoYo is still developing sections of the game where we're killing them. We kill people. We kill sleeping hilly churls and kill their friends and raid their camps because there's a shiny chest. Like, have the developers forgotten that we know what we're doing? That we know what they are? Why are we still able to collect items off of them? Why are we still gaining more and XP when we kill them? We're murderers. After knowing, we can't have a clear conscience because we didn't know before, which is still no reason because they behaved so much like people already. But we've been killing people and the developers have been making us do it. The remnants of Khaenri'ah are just being murdered by us, just so we can have their chests and their masks. It's gross. Like, I hope the developers progress that, because we know. Like, We got quests with Elon Musk. We also had an entire specialized event based around learning their language. They are like us. There is no difference between them and people. Just visually there's a difference, but Elon Musk is trying to communicate with them, and she has successfully done it, so even if they weren't people and we didn't know any of this, it's good enough. We can communicate. Why are we killing them? They're sentient. They have consciences. They're self... They have a sense of self? I don't know what I'm trying to say. They are conscious of their beings. They clearly dance and tell stories, and they try to make shelter, and they do the things that we do. We can see them doing it. Anyway, that's the thing that's been bothering me as well, that it's just continued, and even in Inazuma, the few ones that are surviving, we just find them and wipe them out. Because developers keep placing challenges and puzzles around them that force them to attack because they're scared of us. Like, why wouldn't they be scared and attack immediately? We've been murdering them. They've been getting murdered constantly. There's hardly any in Inazuma, but the few there are, they're just dead because of us if we run into them. I know, it makes me feel bad. Like, I try not to kill them, but I have to. I don't have to, but I want the items, but I feel extremely guilty and bad for it. It makes me feel real. It's like so much dissonance. Like that writers don't care. They're just writing us where they write whether they feel like writing, but they don't follow through on it. We can't kill them anymore. Like I already didn't kill the unusual Hilichurl after like the first like 3 or 4 times I killed him, because I was like, he's got a pet. He's got a pet sitting in his little hat. A tiny little pet slime. And he's traveling. And we're a traveler too. Like, how are we not finding any sort of sense of... Surely we must connect with the unusual Hilichurl some amount. And then they had an event to kill the unusual Hilichurl. Go out of your way to get his friends to rat him out and kill him for the... Like, no. No. It can't happen like that. It doesn't make sense. I don't know. Why did Senora only exist for 2 seconds on screen only so that she could be killed almost instantly as soon as she turned up on screen? Why was it the same with, what's his name? The prototype puppet, Scaramouche. Why did Scaramouche again get like 20 seconds of screen time, and Tepe got like 20 minutes or something? He must have had like an hour of screen time. He got so many bloody lines. Where's Goro's lines? Where's Kokomi's lines? Where's Signora's and Sarah's and everyone who actually matters and isn't an NPC that's copied and pasted? And Signora felt like her characterization exists in the Pale Flame set, but where's her in-game? We didn't get to know her. We don't need her to be a redeemable character or anything, but she wasn't even yet interesting in the story. She was plot device to have someone to murder. It was weird. It is weird. She shows up momentarily to do evil things so we can get to kill her later, and it's like, that's not a character, that's cheap. And then they did and I didn't think of this until I spoke to someone I speak to, but for some people, that was their first time seeing Scaramouche. He wasn't even introduced properly. That was the first time they saw that random character added in. I can only imagine how random that must have felt to suddenly be told, oh, that random character that just got added in, it's the puppet. It's the other puppet. Before the puppet. That must have sounded so stupid. It was stupid, but at least I thought I sort of knew that he existed. But I don't know, Mihoyo likes taking content out of the bloody game. So now it's confusing to even have him there. Like, we should
I wish I was sitting at the top of a tree, looking out over.
the Reconciled Stars, I think is what it was called, event where the meteors came and Scaramouche was part of it. He at least was there. And sure, it was I didn't think it was an introduction during that event either, but at least we knew of his existence. His existence had so much more this time going on. They added complexity to his background to say who that character was. No, he hasn't yet got a personality, he's just the evil guy, but for some people, that must have been so jarring. Anyway, these are some of the main thoughts I felt like I needed to get, just before I actually ended the video, get on to saying, because yeah, no, it looked like it was the end, and I didn't know what to say, because it looked like it was such a nothingy ending. I don't know if it is the ending. I'm a bit unsure. It's so strange. Like, I have still extremely high expectations for the game. I have extremely high expectations for Ai, even if she's extremely disappointed me in terms of being a character. I haven't yet played her Hangout, but I will. I hope they don't butcher the hell out of her. Because I find her extremely nothing. I just don't find her, I find nothing. I expect an apology still. She hurt everyone in Inazuma, basically, other than the people who didn't care about what's happening to the Vision Bearers, but she needs to apologize to all of them. She needs to find some way of finding penance. She needs to find a way to forgive herself. She needs to find a way for other people to forgive her. She needs to, probably for the rest of her life, try to make amends, to find ways of not allowing herself to get away with what she's done. She needs to not forgive herself, but do what she can from here on to make up for the fact what she did was that bad. What's the word? I can't figure out the word, but I want to know that Baal wants to find a way to live with herself. She did incredibly terrible things. Not Baal, wait a minute. Ai has done terrible things. And I want to see remorse. I want to know that she wants to take it back, is all. And I want to see her understanding people's frustration with what's happened even when they don't forgive her. I want to see her become a character that's basically guilt-ridden, because she should be, but someone who's trying to do the right thing.
Cost you an apple.
Those were the main things that were going on, that I was thinking. Yeah. Still disappointed, though. I mean, obviously I haven't played her story quest. Hope it's good, because they've often butchered all of that. Like, I want her to admit things to herself and to other people. But anyway, yeah. For now, those were my thoughts. I feel like that concludes my thoughts a little bit better, because there was much to say, and I felt like I didn't let myself say them, just because I was so not yet sure if 2.1 is the end of the Inazuman story, the way I thought it seems like it is, but I wasn't thinking that it was, so I was leaving it to continue developing, but in case it doesn't, those were my thoughts on, some of my thoughts on 2.1. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you guys in 2.2, and also any other hangouts that happen, / the quests to get to spend some time with the characters that aren't the hangouts. I don't know what you call those story quests. Yeah. Hope you enjoyed.
Sure,
I'll see you guys
I'll
next
play you
time.
another tune, but it'll cost you an apple.